Thanks for staying with us. You're still on to Good Morning Nigeria, live on the network service of the NTA. While we await our newspaper reviewer, Chooks, we'll just take this sting. Chooks isn't here yet, so so Larry, you have two papers with you, right?
Yeah,
so,
the show must go on.
Okay,
And reading the headlines on the front pages of the papers we've got this morning. We'll begin with the leadership this morning, and the lead story on the leadership this Friday is federal government embarks on overhaul of justice sector. The Riders declares electoral laws, orders a cake, plans National Justice Reform Summit with NJC and BA. Details on page 4 of the leadership. Above the masthead, we have CBN policies push Naira to 1,150 Naira to the dollar at parallel market. And just beside the masthead, we have Lagos Market Inferno, more buildings to go. That's credited to the governor of that state. Of course, many people are mourning, and that's the death of the former minister, Ogbonaya Onu. Tinubu, Buhari, Obi, others mourn. Below the picture story, tariff, power minister apologizes over freezer comment. Interesting. Page 7 has that report. All right, let's look away from the leadership newspaper now, looking at the Daily Trust. The lead story: no personal interest in 15 trillion naira coastal highway projects. So much noise about the coastal highway project, and this particular headline is credited to Mahi. The writer says procurement didn't follow due process. Atiko insists why Tinubu is linked to Chagori family. Page 4 would guide you on that. Above that lead story, just directly below the masthead, we killed many terrorists in Zamfara. That's according to NAF. Condolences is first Abia civilian governor Ogbonaya Onu dies at 72. And details can be found on page 22. We have a beautiful picture story here on the front page of the Daily Trust. It's a picture of children having fun during the Eid al-Fitr celebration in Abuja and Lagos State yesterday. Of course, children would always be children. Looking below that, we have in the black strip, Disco's post 37 apologies to Band A customers in 1 week. You want to hear that again? Discos post 37 apologies to Band A customers in 1 week. By the way, Demola, what band are you?
Well, let's go there now. I mean, Band A, but then it's okay.
All right.
At least I'm enjoying the electricity for now.
After 20 hours, have you been counting? How many apologies have you gotten?
at least up to 20 hours. But I'm just wondering why they just couldn't give us 24 hours straight like that. Is it impossible?
Isn't that Band A asking for too much? What happens to people who are in Band E and those of us who may be in Band F? Anyways, just looking at more stories on the front page of the Daily Trust quickly, I have no reason not to support APC-led federal government, as according to Bauchi Governor. APCON backs CBN suspension of dollar collateral for Naira loans. And a very sad one, yes, of course, in the movie industry, Junior Pope. AGN suspends movies involving boat rides, Musawa Mounts. All right, so that's it from the Daily Trust.
Okay, thank you, Larry. I have the Vanguard newspaper with me. And below the nameplates, we have Tinubu, Jibril, Kalu, Uzodinma, Obi, others mourn as Ogbonaya Onu dies at 72. The details can be found on page 7. Orderly declares Fubara leader of PDP in Rivers. The details is on page 12. Junior Pope, how Fanta money I sprayed in the river saved me. That's the survival, giving his own account there. That's the details can be found on page 11. Then we have the pictures of the tragedy strikes in Nollywood, the late Junior Pope, the survival, and also the movie producer Adama Luke. Then we have Christian elders to Tinubu adopt 2014 comfort report. Details is on page 10. Lagos Calabar Coastal Road uproar over cost as federal government proposes 3,000 per toll gate. Cars to pay 1,500, trucks 5,000. Mai, that's the Minister for Works, says Landmark Resorts jobs won't be affected, property owners to be compensated. It's a highway to fraud, waste. Atiku Abubakar. Federal government not tired of inflicting pains on Nigerians. That's the Labour Party. Any toll above 300 unacceptable. CUPP. Luxury bus operators kick. Say passengers will bear the brunt. Road may become highway of exploitation. Fraud. NLC. Cost must be recovered. Unwilling motorists should ply alternative routes. APC's cry. A lot of debates there. Okwama Army invades another Delta community, arrests 10, raises homes. The details on page 8. Manufactured goods import rise to 269%. So 9 trillion export decline. The details on page 19. Wigwe, why Ogumbanjo's family sued charter company over a helicopter crash. Minister apologizes for Nigerians keep freezer on due to low tariff. And Mr. and Mrs. Any man who beats his wife is an animal. So don't mix things up. Aneta's husband is an animal. Period. I agree with you. Is that not what they call animal husbandry? Do you subscribe to that?
Of course, no man should beat his woman.
Of course, of course.
Absolutely wrong.
To lift
a finger on another human being, and it's worse to lift a finger on a woman. We had a conversation about women just before we kick-started the program, and you talked about how women, are being celebrated. Of course, we should celebrate women.
We celebrate women a lot in this country, We have Women's Day, like up to 6 to
Why don't
7.
we have 20? It's still not enough.
It's still not enough.
Yeah.
What about for the men?
Well, considering what the women do, I can only speak for the women because, I'm a woman myself. So,
No, okay. No problem.
But,
it's okay.
Looking away from that.
We'll celebrate you.
Thank you so much. And we're looking forward to many more Women's Day this year.
You deserve it.
Thank you. Talking about celebrations and then the power sector and, the Band A customers, the different issues that have sprung up, apologies here and there by discos not meeting up with, the number of hours of providing constant electricity and all of that. And then the latest apology from the minister, about the freezer comment. Remember when he had a press conference and saying that Nigerians waste power by putting on their freezers? A lot of Nigerians came for him, on that particular comment. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think the advice is good, but as far as I'm concerned, but it's just that a lot of Nigerians just believe that, look, that comment was done inappropriate and it shouldn't have come from him. But, I think we should learn how to manage electricity usage in this country. Because if you travel abroad, you see, if you are not in the room, you switch off the light in the room. You don't put it on. I grew up in Nigeria. I grew up in this country like from morning till night, as long as there is electricity, as long as there is NEPA, then, the light is always on. The light is always on. But with this latest development now begin to learn how to switch off and conserve electricity so that you can save your money and use it for other things. I think there's nothing wrong with it. Just that my problem actually has been putting people in band A, band B, band C, band E, and band D, is discriminatory as far as I'm concerned. Because what happens to people in band B, C, D, and E? Won't they have electricity? It's like robbing Peter to pay Paul. So you give all the electricity, all the power to band A, and you leave all the people in darkness. I don't think it's fair.
All right. There's this particular meme on social media about someone who talked about not having power for about, say, 20 hours, and then you have it for 5 minutes, and then it goes off again. And then the meme says, that's not either A, B, C, D, or E. That's a bandit.
It's really a bandit. That's true.
Anyways.
Then you talked about this dollar issue. Dollar is going for how much?
1,150 naira.
Wow, man,
fantastic.
That's a cheering news.
Of course, and the call for Nigerians to patronize made in Nigerian goods. Of course, not dollarize the economy, making sure that whatever service that you render in this country, do not ask to be paid in dollars. All of that. I think it's, going a long way. And of course, the policies put in place by the CBN is definitely pushing the naira, a bit stronger, compared to the dollar.
And the federal government have even encouraged those or advised those who have stocked the dollar, to bring them out now before they start crying. Because the naira is appreciating and the dollar is on the downward trend. So if you have your dollars, if you are keeping them, bring them out now so that you can save yourself the agony. Now let's go to that tragedy of the movie industry. It's really sad. It's really, really, really sad. But I just begin to wonder, how would you take a trip on the boat without a life jacket? Several times, government has warned that you don't go on a trip with a boat and without your life jacket. Anything can happen. And it is really, really, very sad. The video that was trending about the guy, the Pope guy, when he was shooting that video, we heard him telling the boat operator, lower your speed, you are speeding too much and all that. I mean, it's sad.
Very sad, development. And then talking about, the life jackets you talked about, I know we've had certain programs, even right here on Good Morning Nigeria, talking about safety on our waterways. It's quite unfortunate that, the life jackets are actually not available in some instances. Making it mandatory that both boat operators have life jackets, for
the passengers
is something that really needs to be enforced, and there has to be a way to do that.
I think that sector is not well regulated. I don't think so.
Of course, you have just hit the nail on the head. But away from regulation, the beliefs of Nigerians. Because the kind of stories that have emanated from this development, talking about, when he was recovered, they took him, instead of, having to do CPR on him to resuscitate him, instead they took him to the bank of the river, and then they were,
we even heard he was resuscitated at a point.
So many stories, but you also read one that talked about, what he poured in the river and how that saved him, and just all kinds of stories, But there's this particular one now that is trending, that whenever someone passes on or is drowned, the person has to be buried by the bank of the river. And so I think there just needs to be a lot of education about things like this, drowning, what we could do. I've seen a lot of content creators, medical experts who are content creators in the last 24 hours come up with content about how you could do CPR when someone is in such a situation, just so you can save that life and not be looking for other things to do, or if you like, rituals, to get a person back to life. Very sad development, and I hope that...
really, really sad. Really sad. Anyway, so let's draw the curtain here. We'll now take a break. Good Morning Nigeria continues. Stay with us.